The zoo officially opened in 1934, and it was part of a pleasure gardens that the city council at the time had established up on the side of the Cave Hill. It was a fairly motley assortment of lions and tigers and a few, in hindsight, quite basic animals, but it was extremely popular. Over 280,000 visitors in its first year of opening. The first enclosures were built in the early 1980s, and that building work extended right through till 1994. So between early 1980s and 1994, a completely new zoo was built on the side of the Cave Hill.
The rebrand was a very ambitious project, really. The zoo had never taken on anything in terms of marketing, and we really had to take it right back to see who we were and what we wanted to do and what was our vision and what was our visitor experience. And from that sort of project we came up with sort of 5 key brand values about the zoo, and this is what we base our visitor experience on. So the zoo is all about conservation, education, it's about our place in the community, it's about enjoyment and fun, and then our place within tourism as a visitor attraction in Northern Ireland.
Our vision extends into several key areas of our work, and that's both the visitor experience, the way we look after our animals, and of course the way we run our business, and they all interlink quite nicely.
We get to not only work with the animals, different species, but we get to work with the general public as well, which is fantastic.
The main reason we're here as well, not only to entertain the public who come in, is for conservation, and basically by keeping these species and breeding them, it's really rewarding, so you know that you're actually helping to save the species in the wild as well by preserving them in captivity. So it's a really great feeling, waking up every morning, coming to work and knowing you're doing a good thing. It's exciting.
It's not me or the other curators or the managers saying, look, you know, maybe we should just get a couple of gorillas today. That's not the way it works. I think out of 1,000 animals, the zoo actually owns about 10. The rest are actually owned by the breeding programs. The breeding programs are then run by a stud bookkeeper, and it's almost like a big dating service, to be honest with you. And the animals are moved around as part of that breeding program. So we wouldn't choose an animal if we didn't think it was the right facility. And again, there's lots of input from keepers, our own public, and from managers and curators. It's just a balance which everybody has an input into.
This new entrance and visitor centre gift shop has been huge to us. Before this was built, we had these fairly unattractive pay boxes which you had to lean down into to meet the people, and they were dark, and it was not a welcoming, pleasant first experience. And now you see this great white gleaming building in front of you, and it's warm and it's undercover and it's bright and breezy, and they're actually meeting face to face at eye level with our front of house people. So all those first impressions, from new website to talking to our people, to parking your car, to coming into the zoo, and then obviously leaving the zoo as well through a brand new gift shop, that whole atmosphere of the zoo visitors changed, and certainly I hope visitors are enjoying it, which we certainly are. I mean, it's been huge for us.
In previous years, the zoo shop was set aside from the main zoo, and it was like a little addition to the zoo day. You had your great day at the zoo, and it was just, you popped in and bought a souvenir and went home. Now it's more than 1/3 of the zoo's turnover. The most important quality we look for in staff is passion, and it seems a bit glib and a bit strange to say that somebody comes to work in a ticket office or a shop would have passion for that, but it's not the case. People want to be associated with the zoo. It's a great big friendly environment, and people know the zoo. They've heard about it for years. Their parents have talked about it, they talk about it, their kids and their grandchildren talk about it. They know, they feel it as part of their heritage. And people who want to come here either want to come and take part in the visitor experience, either working here or with the animals. One of the curators in charge of the big cat team started in the sweet shop in the old zoo, and we have a keeper who's gone on terrifically up the hill, and she started in the visitor shop, and they wanted to come here, they wanted to work and be involved in the zoo. We like to be able to make sure that the people in the visitor centre, either on admission side or on the shop side, that know what's going on up the hill. And if you're part of the whole thing, then you feel part of the entire zoo team and not just an isolated part of it, and that's basically how we keep people interested. And as I say, that's quite easy because we've got interesting things going up the hill every single day.
If you go to zoos worldwide, there's about 600 million people who visit zoos. So that's like 600 million people who can learn about the animals and the role of a zoo. You can capture more people on the television, right? And there's some cracking wildlife programs on the television these days. But there's nothing quite like seeing a living animal and smelling the living animal or getting to touch a living animal. And if you're trying to get a message across, if someone has touched the snake and seen the snake really up close, then hopefully, and I know, that message will stick far better than if you're just showing it on the telly or you're just talking about it.
We have small budgets in the zoo, but certainly with a unique product, we can make use of high quality photography, videos which are quite cost effective. We would take advantage of the internet and trying to spread the word about those and kind of use a viral marketing concept where we want everyone to know about this, and we would use networking sites like YouTube to try and upload our videos to try and spread the message for the zoo. Other developments that we've taken on board is using the technology Bluetooth for mobile phones. For example, in our visitor centre, if our visitors now come in and their Bluetooth is turned on, which we do tell them to turn it on when they come in, they now receive messages from the zoo. And this helps us in daily communication with our zoo visitors on site, so we can update them daily on things that are happening, maybe if there's a birth or if there's a new animal in the zoo that they must go see it. We've also got an audio gallery on our website as well, which is recorded by local celebrities. So we've kind of tried to take one of the values of the zoo, which is that fun and enjoyment, plug our local celebrities into the personality of our animals and get them to record a particular kind of podcast for the zoo. For example, Colin Murray is Andy the chimp, and he portrays a great Andy the chimp, and he tells them lots of information about the chimps, about their personalities, about the family structure, and there's a lot of humour in the podcast, and we're hoping that visitors will download this podcast before they come to the zoo and then play it while they're at the chimp enclosure. We want to place ourselves as a premier visitor attraction. We want to attract visitors from all over Ireland and GB, and to try and understand the strategy of our other tourism organisations in Northern Ireland is an important part of attracting a bigger customer base for us. We would network with other organisations such as NITB and BFCB, so to have those relationships is extremely important for our development as well.
Achieving the Northern Ireland Tourist Board Visitor Attraction of the Year in 2007 was huge for us. To get that sort of mark of accreditation, of excellence from the Tourist Board allowed us, the people working in the zoo, allowed our visitors, allowed other people in the City Council, a whole range of stakeholders actually to see the zoo in not necessarily a different light, but actually to see the zoo as a place that was achieving success. I could take you into any exhibit in the zoo and I could get enthusiastic and I could get committed and passionate about what we're looking after and why. And it could be a little brown, dull looking bird that is just fascinating for some reason. Or it could be the Sumatran tiger that's just arrived in the zoo that I saw this morning and is just going to be brilliant. There's 300 of those left in the wild and he's gorgeous. Anything that is in Belfast Zoo I've got an interest in and a passion about, and the whole lot are good.